Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Celebration of Life event is held for a well-known sign language interpreter who worked closely with Governor Andy Beshear. And local nonprofits come to the rescue for people here in Hazard left without a home because of a tragic apartment fire.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:01. I'm Keaton Hall. Let's check in with Brandon for a quick check of the forecast this morning. How's it looking, Brandon?
So far, so good. A little bit of rain still out there, Keaton, but nothing like it was last night. The severe weather threat is gone this morning, and we'll continue to track those dreary conditions for a little while today. But even the rain starting to move out just a little bit. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Still a little bit of green showing up out there, but again, most of the heavier bands of rain are pushing out of the state. Some drizzle, some sprinkles left over in many areas. Some wet roads too. Again, Mount Vernon, not sure where that showed up. I was trying to get you the Whitesburg camera there. Let's see if it's, nope. Well, anyway, some wet roads out there, so just continue to watch that this morning. Temperatures from 59 in Moorhead to about 66 in Harlan and Jacksboro. A lot of low to mid 60s out there as that cold front continues to make its trek through the region. So today's breakdown, early rain chances, late clearing, about a 30% chance of rain this morning, 72 for a daytime high. Rain chances highest early. I do believe the clouds will linger well into the afternoon before we see some late day sunshine, which will help warm us up just a little bit into the low 70s. So we'll keep an eye on that. If the clouds linger longer, we'll be close to the 70-degree mark or maybe stay in the upper 60s. That's the bet. If we get the sunshine out a little bit later, we get to 72. Keaton?
It'll be a nice little evening. Thanks, Brandon. A little more than 1 month ago, well-known sign language interpreter Virginia Moore died at the age of 61. She died after an extended stay in the hospital for heart surgery and complications with her lungs and kidneys. On Sunday, her life was celebrated. Julia Sandor shares the heartfelt messages from those who knew her.
It's a celebration of her life.
Every person mattered to Virginia.
Remembered for making an impact on the lives of people in the deaf and hearing community, Virginia Moore was on many Kentucky screens during the pandemic.
She led with kindness, love, compassion, and inclusion. You knew that you mattered to Virginia.
Friends and family came together, sharing their stories about Moore. Virginia's older brother, Dick Moore, says although they were 13 years apart in age, they were as close as siblings get.
Virginia, absolutely full of life. She always kept us alive, was always cheery, energetic. I can just see her energy just exploded to everybody in the room.
Popular across the Commonwealth, Moore received several awards and holds the highest level of interpreter certification.
My mother used to always tell her, put your hands lower, don't sign. And she would get up and she'd say, Mom, stop. Everybody needs to see this. I am proud of signing. I'm proud to be part of the community. And she is hearing, but she taught us to be proud of our deafness.
With dozens of people sitting side by side, her family remembers her for the positive attitude she had in every aspect of life.
I know that you all are watching us, and you watched Virginia for many years, and I want to thank you all for supporting Virginia.
Julia Sandor, WKYT.
The celebration of life was held in Viewpoint Hall at the Muhammad Ali Center in Louisville. In Harlan County, a teenage boy has died following an ATV crash. Kentucky State Police troopers say they received a call just after 3:30 Saturday afternoon about a single ATV crash on Reed Road in the Putney community. They say the 14-year-old boy was driving a black Polaris Ranger when it turned over and landed on him. The boy suffered an injury that resulted in his death, and he was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash. After a fire destroyed a Hazard apartment building housing dozens of people, many community members are finding ways to help victims recover. Fire victims are now staying in a Hazard hotel. They've received clothing, food, and other supplies from various organizations. Nonprofit Roscoe's Daughter founder Kate Clements says it's important for her to support people in her hometown.
It's really important to me that all of the families here know how loved and supported they are by everyone in the community, and that they're not alone, and that we will get through it together.
There's not been any official word on what led to the apartment building to catching on fire. Kentuckians are still mourning the loss of a Scott County deputy 3 weeks after he was killed in the line of duty. People across the Commonwealth have been hosting fundraisers to support the family of Deputy Caleb Conley. Another fundraiser was held over the weekend, this one in the form of a softball tournament in Scott County. 40 teams from across and outside of Kentucky traveled there to play in the tournament. To those teams, though, it's more than just playing for a championship ring.
This is a benefit tournament. We shouldn't have to do these, but with you all here showing the community support, we really, really appreciate it. And I know these guys in blue standing behind you, they appreciate it.
All profits from the tournament will support the family of Deputy Conley. One city in Floyd County played host to a 5K, hoping to make a difference in the lives of animals. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from the Rainbow Bridge 5K in Prestonsburg and how the event will support animals across the region.
On Saturday, folks came together to remember their furry friends who have passed on, and all for a great cause.
Remembering our animals, our furry friends that we've had through the years that have crossed over the Rainbow Bridge, and we just want to celebrate them and at the same time raise money for a new animal shelter here in Floyd County.
The Floyd County Animal Shelter's Rainbow Bridge 5K hopes to raise money for a new building and invited folks out to have some fun and maybe find their next four-legged companion.
Today, people can come out and look at some animals that they have here, and they can take them for a walk. They can do a meet and greet with them, but they can also do that up at the shelter any day that they can make an appointment to come up and look at them.
Supporting animals across the region and of all kinds.
Communities need to realize that the shelters belong to all of us. It's not just a shelter that other people work at or work for. It belongs to all of Floyd County, and therefore we need to support it.
Making sure they are taken care of.
This year we know that we will exceed 21, maybe 22,000. So if we can build on that every year with all of it going to the animals, to that building fund, then we will, we know that we'll be able to get it built that much sooner.
And hoping to make a difference. In Prestonsburg, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Floyd County Special Projects Coordinator Missy Allen gave us an update, and the event well past its goal, raising more than $45,000 for the construction of the new shelter. She says she would also like to thank the many sponsors as well as the Job Corps volunteers that made the whole event possible.
.609 on the money this morning. We're continuing to track a little bit of light rain across parts of the region. Let's go right to live pinpoint Doppler radar, and you can see some of that creeping in there. Some light rain, some mist, some drizzle. Again, it's just all over the place this morning. So be careful. Give yourself plenty of time, and also some fog trying to form in some locations as well this morning. Still a bit breezy up on Buffalo Mountain, but downtown Whitesburg, we're looking on the wet side down that way, still at 61. Basically everybody except for Moorhead is in the 60s this morning. 60 Clintwood, a lot of 61s out there. Warm spots 66 in Harlan and Jacksboro, and the cool spot 59 in Moorhead. Day planner for today, we're going to go up. We're going to be in the 70s if we clear out fast enough this afternoon. If we do not, we will stay probably in the upper 60s and close to 70. But regardless, we are going to warm up a little bit, hopeful that those skies will start to clear by later this afternoon. Keaton?
All right, thank you, Brandon, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Coming up next, former President Donald Trump prepares to make an appearance in a Florida court after becoming the first former president to face federal charges.